Hey guys, it's Ryan here, the HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're going to be doing our last comic by the issue for Dark Knights of Steel with issue 12, the finale. It's still being written by Tom Taylor. Jasmine Putri does the artwork here, and in this case, the colors are by Arif Prianto, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really feel the finale here. I didn't think it was that great. Like, I didn't hate it, but I feel like for something marketed as DC in a Game of Thrones setting, which at this point just means medieval setting with magic, this doesn't live up to that level of things. And specifically, the issue isn't that there's not enough violence or that there's not enough hardcore shit happening. The problem is that the ending feels so quick. The resolution to the story happens like so fast, and I'm not really sure that it works that well. Like, I feel like there could have been another 10 to 15 pages here that could have made the fight scenes, the last big massive battle, a little bit better, a little bit more important, and maybe cutting down on some of the dialogue, or making, allowances for more pages to still include that dialogue would have been very, very good. So what actually happens in this issue? Well, we start with Waller, who's talking to Protex, because we learned earlier that she's actually been the one orchestrating most of this stuff because she wants to remove everyone from the kingdom. She wants to become the important person, the queen, I guess, of the El Kingdom. She wants to remove anyone that is a threat to that kingdom, and that includes most people that have powers. It includes the elves as well, and also it basically means any other kingdom that is near them, right? And so she wants to kill all the superpowered people, and Protex gets to have everything outside of the El Kingdom, which, unless Waller is stupid, it's a dumb idea. You still need things outside of your kingdom. Your kingdom is not self-sufficient, especially not if you're going to kill all the superpowered people that make it possible to be self-sufficient in a medieval setting, right? Like, I don't understand this. Like, it's not like Protex is going to make a kingdom that is important enough and structured enough and well off enough that she's going to be able to trade with him. And she's not going to be able to trade with any of the other kingdoms that exist here if Protex is allowed to, race all of the rest of the earth. So, first of all, her desire doesn't make sense to me, or her allowance for Protex having the rest of the world doesn't make sense to me, because you still need the rest of the world. Are you gonna go fight him instead afterwards, especially after you kill all the superpowered people? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But it is what it is. That's kind of just what she says. Then we move on to another scene where the queens, because it happens to be that there's three queens currently, are listening to their advisors. Now, why anyone would listen to Constantine after all of the shit that he made happen this series, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I feel like he should have been killed off immediately as soon as people realized that, hey, misinterpreting the information and causing us to go to war with each other for no reason, right? Like, I don't know. A lot of it feels like, oh, we got to let them survive so that he can be important later. No, that doesn't really seem like it should work like that, right? And they listen to their advisors. We get to see this monkey guy called Bobo say something, and then we move on to a different situation where Captain Cold freezes the fires around the kingdom, and this allows for the Martians to show up in this fog of green. And then Dinah, the Black Canary, manages to remove all of this fog with one of her sonic screams. I'm also pretty sure that shouldn't the Martians be weak to the sonic scream to an extent? Unless I'm confusing them with Venom. I'm not really sure, but I feel like that was a weakness that they have, but I can't remember. But, she clears it out. And so now the aliens show up in their real self, and they go to battle. We get to see Alfred and Bruce talk before they go off into the battle. And basically, it's a semi-sweet moment between them, but also it's something that doesn't get paid off later, or is actually set up for a negative, right? So I'll mention that later. But Bruce and Kal-El and Zara and Diana all go off to fight, and they change the tide of the battle, and they also manage to lure the White Martians over to the volcano that initially made the Elves be an important part of the Elf Kingdom, right? And so then the Queen of the Storm Kingdom calls down a lightning storm, reactivates the volcano, and so the spewing of the volcano, which actually seems to be a very dangerous thing, which is why the Elves stopped it, manages to kill off all of the or most of the White Martians. But then we don't ever get to see a resolution of this being covered up again when they finish off the White Martians. The White Martians are then put into the Phantom Zone so that our heroes don't have to kill all of them. And then we see another scene where Alfred is confronting Waller, because he's like, you have protections over your mind, but Deadshot doesn't, and I've read what he's thinking, and I know that you're the reason why this situation has happened. And so she kills Alfred because he touched her by accident, and she had this protection over her. And then she kills Deadshot to blame him as the traitor of this world. And so when Bruce shows up, because he hears Alfred's psychic scream or psychic pain, Waller plays it off as Deadshot being the reason he's dead. And Bruce kind of lets it go, but he is super powered. He should have heard some of it, right? Like, I don't know. Again, there's a lot of things here they just don't make sense to me, because they're not exactly consistent with the powers that these characters are supposed to have. And the whole point of this is that their powers. You just have to put them in a medieval setting, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm not really sure here, but yeah. And so that ends. There's peace now. There's a treaty signed. They try to get Bruce to sign it, but Bruce is like, I'm not the king. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not interested. You guys are still in charge. Kal-El and Lois have a situation there. A little bit of a moment. Bruce doesn't want to be king, but, Kal is like, one day I'll follow you. It's like, I'm not really sure if that's necessary. Why does he get to be king when it's not necessary? Like, yes, technically there is birthright element there, but the current king the current dynasty is not Bruce's. It's the other people's, right? And Kal-El was born before Bruce, so technically, if they're following like dynastic rules, Kal should be king before Bruce, right? I think it's just like, Batman's our best character, so make him king. I don't like that, because it doesn't make sense within the rules of the kingdom that they established, right? So yeah, and then he declines, but it's set up for later. And then the story ends with a very quick resolution. There's peace, but there's more problems on the horizon. Other kingdoms are sensing weakness and are ready to attack. And so there's probably going to be Dark Knights of Steel 2, but I'm not sure that I'm going to read it, because if we have the same situation here, I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to want to stick to the series if it takes years to come out, right? When it's like a short mini series. So I'm not really sure. A lot of my enjoyment for the series got killed partially by the fact that it didn't come out consistently, and that's actually really important. But the other thing is that even though the premise was great, the execution was not that good. Like, I was not that invested in this, even though I like other Tom Taylor works. Like, at a certain point, I was like, okay, this isn't living up to the possibility that this can have. And if you're not going to do it all the way, why are you even bothering with doing it, right? So, yeah, I don't know. The ending here definitely felt too fast. It was not an epic battle. This should have been like the Battle of the Bastards type situation here, and it didn't feel like that. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts on Dark Knights of Steel. Overall, my kind of idea here for the series, my kind of thought process here, is like a 7 out of 10. But I am going to go back and reread it later and make a full proper review of the whole story and then I'll make a proper rating for it. But currently, right now, based on my experience with this last volume, or with this last issue, I would give it a 7 out of 10. And I don't think that's horrible, but I don't think that's great, especially with all the potential that this series comes with, right? So there you go. Those are my thoughts on Dark Knights of Steel. Let me know if you guys read it down below, and let me know what you thought about it now that it's over. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.